Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 117, the Techno-Viper. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have Cobra and a hook, a little window right here, or part of the, it goes around to the front. But anyway, let's light in from the top. Number 117 on the front. 4 and up assortment number. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there. Nice big window showcasing the figure and his accessories, and some nice artwork right there of the Techno-Viper Cobra. G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra. Techno-Viper Hasbro print. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, main China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, we have that same artwork from the front, only there's a little more of it. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 117's quite pretty good artwork there. And then Cobra, and then close-up of that same artwork, number 117. Here's the QR code. You can scan it if you'd like. It probably just takes you to shop.hasbro.com rather than something having to do with the character. And here are the symbols for the character's skill set, which you can look up at gijoe.com. Cobra, G.I. Joe Classified Series. Then on the back, we have number 117 Cobra, and a nice practical photography of the figure in an action pose, and then some close-ups of digital renders showing off some of the features of the figure. And there's the symbols again for his skill set. Cobra Techno-Viper includes figure in 8 pieces. Parents, GIJoe.com, attention! Especially don't stick things in your French pie hole if they don't belong there. Oh, made in China print right there. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that don't belong there. Don't give it to babies, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, completes our look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And let's start off with the accessories. And we have handy dandy tweezers right here to help out. And first up, we have some kind of tech spec readout. It's molded all in a solid translucent plastic, and I have to say it looks pretty cool. It's got a post on it right there at the end, and I'll show you where all that hooks up at. Next up, we have his sidearm, and I do believe we've seen this before. Nice molded detail, all molded in black plastic, no paint apps. Here we have his primary armament, which is very, very reminiscent of the original Real American Hero Techno-Viper's primary armament. All molded in black plastic. Nice molded details again. And it's got a little post right there, and we'll show you what that's for shortly. Next up, we have his tools. Here's some kind of pneumatic wrench, it looks like. And it's got a post on the bottom of it there. Nice molded details, all molded in black plastic. And that holds true for all of these tools. Here's another pneumatic wrench. This one looks more like a pipe wrench to me. And again, posts on the bottom. Nice molded details, molded in black plastic. And here is a pneumatic hammer. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but there it is. Nice molded details, molded in black plastic, and again, it's a post on the end of it. Next up, we have his backpack. You see it's got some nice paint apps right here and right here. Some kind of dial, I'm assuming. Pressure gauge, maybe. And then it's got 2 posts right here. And then it's got 3 slots right here for storage of the tools. And then it's got a handle right here. So not only can he wear it on his back with this post, but he can carry it as well. And that almost looks like a post right here as well, but it's not quite as thick as these, so I think that's just supposed to be some sort of detail. So that's a very nice looking piece. Again, reminiscent, very reminiscent of that original Real American Hero figure. Now here's a hose. We've seen this before. I do believe it originally came with Dr. Mindbender, and we've seen it several times since then. It's got a nice silver paint app on the hose, and then the ends here molded in black plastic. It's got ports on each end, and I guess you can probably start figuring how, you know, those posts work. Now let's take a look at the figure himself. And I have to say, it's hard for me to tell. I want to say it's molded in black plastic, and then this is a paint app, and then the silver's a paint app, and this silver's a paint app, and the eyes are a paint app. And then, so it's really nice. Nice big tampo here on the chest. This, I'm guessing, is a paint app. This is a paint app. This hose is a paint app. It's got some tampo here on his arm readout, and you can see it's got a port in it right there. And then same on this side, but it's a different readout. And again, port on this side. And then it looks like the majority of this guy is molded in the correct color plastic. There's probably some paint apps going on up here. I'm assuming it's this and not the black. So very nice. And again, just like the backpack and the gun and the tools, you know, very, very reminiscent of that original figure, with some nice updates to it, like the readouts on the wrist and stuff. Oh, let's take a look at his articulation. Whew. He can look up that high, and it's on that standard for Classified Series ball joint at the bottom of the neck, dumbbell at the top of the neck. And he can look up that high. He can look down that far. He can chicken neck. He's got waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, 360 degrees of rotation. It's on a butterfly hinge. It'll go back that far, and it'll go forward that far. And this shoulder armor piece has a strap on it that goes down in here, and the arm pins through it. And then you can see this piece doesn't go all the way around, but he can raise his arm up like he's sure, way past 90 degrees. At the upper bicep, there's a cut for another full 360 degree rotation. Double hinged pinless elbow, and dang it, those detents are stiff, and gives you that much bend. 360 degree rotation at the wrist on an in and out hinge, and then this side is an in and out hinge as well. So there is that. And then let's see, nothing in the abdomen, so no ab crunch there. Oh, his head popped off. Maybe they got it back on there. So he's got a ball joint at the waist, so that gives him plenty of hula. He can lean left and right. Oh wait, he does have an ab hinge in there. How did I miss that? So in conjunction with the ab hinge and the ball joint, he can lean back that far. He can lean forward that far. So very nice disguising that. I barely even saw it. So 360 degree rotation at the waist, drop down hinge at the hips, and he gives you the full splits. He can kick forward past 90 degrees, it appears, and back maybe about a half a step. Cut at the upper thigh for a full 360 degree rotation. Double hinged pinless knee. And again, that detent on the top half of the knee is really tight, and I did soak this guy. So it gives you that much bend at the knee. And I don't know if I said it was double hinged pinless, but it is. At the top part of the shin, there is a boot cut for another 360 degree of rotation. Or degrees of rotation, rather. At the ankle, tilts down that far. Tilts up that far. And forward-facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as storage, sidearm goes in this little holster here. So there's that, and we'll set him out of the way for just a minute. And then next up, we'll take his backpack. And we will load the tools in it. So we'll put the hammer on top so we know when it's hammer time. And then so all three of those fit right in there. But before I put this last one in, I just want to show you. Take the hose and connect it in there, and then you can connect it to either one of these posts here. And like I said, this one I don't think is a post for this yet. It's way too small. So you just connect that in there when he's using the tools. And so there we have all the tools loaded up in the backpack. And again, he can carry it by the handle here, but there is a post here. And we'll post that in. Even though that seems like it sits kind of high, all the promo pics I've seen, that's how he's supposed to wear it. It seems like it would go better, you know, that way. But, you know, then the hoses don't quite work right. So, I don't know. It seems like they put the peg, you know, maybe in the wrong position. It should be in a little further up this way. But, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. So then let's just go ahead and take the hose and we'll connect it back in. Let's do this side. And then there's no storage for his primary weapon, so he just has to carry that in his hand. And it also connects to the hose. We've got stuff falling out now. So let's attach the hose on there. And then this is how I like to do it. You might find it easier to do it a different way, but just run his hand up the hose. And that makes it a little easier, in my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. Put that back in place. And then finally, those ports on his wrist readouts. That one's all the way over here. Let's see. There we go. So the little post on here goes in the little port here, and it can go on either side. And there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figure. Uh-oh. And his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review: comparisons. And here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Techno-Viper with the Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series Mole Rat and the G.I. Joe Classified Series Firefly. Here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Techno-Viper with the Valaverse Action Force Swarm Trooper with Swarm Gear and the Valaverse Action Force Scarab. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Techno-Viper, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From the G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Series Techno-Viper, I have to say this guy is more classic than he's not. There may be a few bits and bobs updated here and there, like the holographic display that pops up and the stuff on his wrist readouts or whatever. But for the most part, you know, this guy's how I remember the Techno-Viper. Big backpack. He's got a hose. It can go to his gun. It can go to his tools. And just gives an overall just cool look, in my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. And, you know, I always like this guy in the Real American Hero line. You know, I tended to, my brother and I would play G.I. Joe. He would, you know, mostly end up being G.I. Joe, and I'd mostly end up being Cobra. You know, just because I thought Cobra, not that G.I. Joe didn't have cool stuff, but Cobra usually had the cooler looking figures. And, you know, their vehicles, for the most part, were kind of cool. Now, there's some things that were weird, like the pogo thing. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but the pogo jumper, or whatever that was, and the stun where the two front gunner seats split apart and went out to the side. That, you know, some of that stuff was just weird. But of course, G.I. Joe had some weird stuff too. Not that I can think of it right off the top of my head, but it's out there, trust me. But as far as this figure goes, I love the sculpt. I'm sure there's probably some reuse in there, but I'm not exactly sure where it is. Well, the hose comes from Dr. Mindbender. The pistol, I think, comes from somewhere, a different figure. And, you know, some of the body parts may be previously used, but it's not stuff that I'm really picking up on, because I just overall like the design of this guy so much. He's really cool looking, I think. And the colors on it look good to me, even though I'm colorblind. Don't make fun of handicapped people. But I really like it. And I like the fact that, you know, he still has storage for the tools, pretty much the same tools that he had in the 3 3/4 line, and the same storage in the backpack. I just think that's cool that they continued with that. My only issue with it is I wish they had put the peg for the backpack in a different place so that it sits a little lower on his back. Of course, you can flip the thing, you know, you can flip the backpack the other way around, but everything I've seen shows that he wears it this way. And so there's that. Also, the hose works better when it's turned this way than the other way. At least in my experience. Your experience may be different. But overall, I mean, just everything about this guy I really like. And it really, runs me back to those childhood memories of a real American hero. And that's what it's supposed to do. And so, I really like this figure. I hope you like it too. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you. But only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.